Diego was Tijuana, Mexico. And I was able to take in a live bullfight.
Wow.
Yeah, those are pretty gory.
I can imagine.
Yes, but they were very popular. That was like the Super Bowl in Mexico.
Wow.
Bullfights were big down there, and I said, I gotta take. And you know, I used to see them on the in the movies, but the movies don't show you everything.
Right.
They're edited. But I had an opportunity to look down there. I took some pictures. And I actually still have them.
Wow.
Of the bullfight in Mexico.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Okay. Did you form any friendships there while you were at at the squadron and also in California? Friendships that.
Oh, sure. Now in our office, it's a very small office, and we had our two COs who were both pilots, and they ran the department, and then there was Master Sergeant, who was the non-com, and then they had a leading chief. Now, leading chief is a Navy term. That was, he was a sergeant too, but the actual enlisted men, there were just 4 of us. And I also met someone who lived in Los Angeles. This is unusual. Usually you live on one part of the country and you're sent to the other side. And he lived in Los Angeles, and he was drafted and ended up there at El Toro, and not in my office, but in the my squadron, and got to be a good friend with his. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Did you see that? Did you go overseas? Did you actually go to Korea?
Yes, I did.
And how did you get there? Let's just sort of tell us about that.
Well, in November of 1952, I was assigned to go to Korea. And the way I put it, I took a 13-day sea cruise, courtesy of Uncle Sam. We left from San Diego, and it's a good thing I didn't have sea duty, because I think I was seasick almost every day. I never had motion sickness. I've been on small boats. Some people get sick riding on a bus, car, train. I have never had any motion sickness. And we were still at the dock, and the ship just had like a little rock to it, at the dock even. And I started feeling a little queasy, but then when we got out in the ocean, and we went through a really bad storm. It was a military transport. It was a Navy ship. And I think it was the USS Miggs. I think the General Miggs. It was all Navy. It was a Navy ship, but it was all Army and Marine Corps troops on their way to Korea. And we went through this storm, and I mean, it was bad. That ship would go, the waves must have been 25, 30 feet. I didn't even venture out on the deck even. And it lasted quite a while. The ship would go all the way up. And then it would come down, and it was like it was hitting something solid. It would come down and hit the bottom. And you thought, how could this stay together? This thing's going to break apart. And I was 3 decks down, I believe. And the bunks were 3 stacked, 3 high. The man in the top bunk, I think I was lucky, I had the bottom bunk. The man at the top bunk had like a foot between him and the top of the deck. But we were sort of at home on a ship, being in the Marine Corps, because all the terms in the Marines were really part of the Navy, actually. And the floor was the deck. The wall was a bulkhead. The stairway was a ladder. The tree was the head. And you had sick bay, the hospital or whatever was sick bay. So we weren't familiar with all the terms.
Right.
Poor Army guys, you know, well, let's go upstairs, you know. And everybody says, they're a landlubber. They don't know their way about a ship.
Sure, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, so you took 13 days to get there, and what did you...
We landed at Yokohama, Japan, which is in the Tokyo area. Yokohama is the port of Tokyo.
There wasn't much left of Yokohama after we got done with it, I'll tell you that.
There wasn't much left of all the main cities in Japan.
Okay.
And the people in the air wing got off the ship. The people in the infantry, they stayed on the ship. And the next day, they sailed directly to Korea, and they landed at Incheon, which was the port for Seoul. We got off the ship. They took us to a train station. And we took an overnight train to Itami. Itami, Japan, which was near Osaka. It was an overnight trip. And we went to it was basically an Air Force base, but the Marines had part of it. That was their rear headquarters and supply. And we turned in all our duffel bags, and all we kept, we turned in our dress uniforms, and they said, you're not going to need these where you're going. And we just kept our dungarees, utility, and work uniforms and such.
Did you have weapons?
No, we didn't have any weapon until we actually got to Korea. And then we were there a day or two, and then we boarded planes, and they flew us to a Marine Corps air base or station called Cape. The name of it, nomenclature, was K6. All the air and marine bases in Korea were numbered from K1 through whatever, and the Air Force were much larger than the Marines. And they had about 12 air bases. Marines had 3. And we went to K6, which was about 30 miles south of Seoul. And we were issued, we never used them or needed them, we were issued a weapon, so many rounds of ammo, and we had it pretty good there, I have to admit. We lived in Quonset huts, just like we were at boot camp, we were in Quonset huts. And it was basically, it was 7 days a week. It was 24/7. There were no weekends and no Sundays. And we took care of the planes and so on.
So you were still doing the same thing you were doing?
Yes, we were the squadron we were in. I don't recall the exact number, but the squadron we were in had well, at that base they had a number of different planes. We had the F-4U Corsairs, which was a Navy and Marine plane. It was a fighter plane, but it was basically, in Korea, it was close air ground support. The Marines initiated the close air ground support during World War II. And they did low-level bombing and strafing in support of the ground troops. They also had the AD, which was a single-engine plane, propeller plane, that came out right at the end of World War II. And I don't believe it saw any action in World War II. It came out at the end, but it saw action during Korea. And then they had the one of the early jets, the F-9F Panther jet.
And this was at Air Station K6?
Yes, yes. And they also had, for the first time, during hostilities or combat, they had helicopters. They had 2 sizes of helicopters. They had one that was like a 4-person, I think